Krzysztof Ratajski, the Polish Eagle, takes on the 5-time world champion Raymond van Barneveld. Starting with Ratajski, he has won a Players' Championship event this year, and it was quite an odd success really, because it came off the back of losing 7 consecutive first-round matches. Something then happened in Players' Championship 15, and he was able to take the title, beating Dave Chisnell in a 12-leg final. And now he comes up against Raymond van Barneveld, a player who has been steady if unspectacular this year. Another one who rarely seems to lose in round one, and that's why he's here, or part of the reason why he's here. He's able to just cash in checks at an often enough rate to get to this tournament. A 4-time quarter-finalist in the Players' Championship finals. Probably the most experienced player on the PDC Pro Tour today. He's been there, seen it, done it, never won this one. Will there still be magic inside Raymond van Barneveld? Or will Krzysztof Ratajski, who's had a mini renaissance, we could say, this year, maybe not playing quite at the level that we saw in 2020, 2021. He's hovering in and around the top 32, so the next port of call for Ratajski is to re-nail his place among the elite.
But we are looking at 2 players that are fighting old Father Time as well. I know that some players can go into their 50s and 60s, or in the case of Paul Lim, your 70s. But ultimately, there has to be a point where you say,
32.
What do I actually want to achieve? Is it rankings based, or is it just the ability to stay relevant with all of the new kids on the block?
60.
I think these two know that maybe their best darts are behind them, but they can still cause an awful lot of problems for everybody coming through. And in the case of Ratajski and van Barneveld over the last 3 seasons, they are still winning.
Ratajski in particular has caused a lot of problems to Raymond over the years. He won each of their first 6 meetings before Raymond van Barneveld beat Ratajski in Barnsley Pro Tour back in 2023. He's had a couple of wins against the Polish Eagle on the Euro Tour. Most recent meeting saw Ratajski hit a ton-plus average against Barney in Prague.
59.
So recency bias belongs to him.
We don't often see Raymond on this stage. He usually commands the main tent. In fact, this feels like a main stage game, doesn't it?
140.
Not that we're complaining. But only one will survive in this section of the draw that can only be categorized
Krzysztof, you require 77.
As horrid. Double top for Krzysztof.
57.
He'd prefer to leave 32, but from 77,
124.
you're not going to go for the 45 to leave 32. It's just a bit risky.
Especially with van Barneveld on 1-2-4, and he's given himself a shot at the bull.
99. Krzysztof, you require 20.
Yeah, lovely dart from Krzysztof. Who has had his problems over the last few years with his health. But in true Krzysztof style, nobody knew about them.
45.
And he just plodded along with life and did stuff while that was happening.
He literally had brain surgery. It's unbelievable that he's got back to playing darts.
140.
He is a perfect example of someone who just said, right, that's something I've got to go through, and I'll just keep on keeping on.
100.
The one time he tends to break emotionally is when he wins a tournament. And when he won that tournament against Dave Chisnell earlier this season, he let everything out.
100.
And if you know the backstory, you can totally understand and appreciate it at the same time.
42.
I don't think Poland know how lucky they are to have had Krzysztof Ratajski. Because if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have the Polish Darts Masters. they wouldn't have Krakow next year on the European Tour circuit. It's all because of this guy.
Sign me up for that.
And of course, with other people coming through like Titus Karnik and Sebastian Białecki and Sebastian Steyer.
96.
And lots of others. They're all following in the shadow of this guy. He deserves all the credit in the world.
He is, and will be for a long time to come, the flag bearer for Polish darts.
97.
You'd maybe think in 10 years, Białecki, if all goes to plan, would take over from Ratajski. But what a mentor Krzysztof will have been.
Put it this way, if Białecki gets half as many titles as Ratajski's got now in 10 years, that's still a very good career. Old school, double top. Finding himself not in the double 16 department, but not bothered by it. 2-0 lead, and he seems to have Barneveld on the end of a string at the minute.
He does like a treble 12 for double 18 combo when left on 72.
I think he likes treble 12 on 68 as well to try and leave his favourite double, but isn't it funny how there's a question out there? You ask a dart player, what's your favourite double? Nobody asks what your favourite treble is.
Because everyone would just assume treble 20.
Exactly. Rob Cross would say treble 18. Ratajski would say treble 12. Wesley Plaisier would say treble 5.
99.
Now it's at this point in games where Raymond van Barneveld is trailing. You have to examine his demeanour, because very quickly he can get very forlorn. I've seen that a few times on tour this year, that if things aren't going his way early on, he will kind of go through the motions and have a face of acceptance.
100.
Not many people are in this tournament who played in the very first one. Raymond is one of them. He didn't play in the second one. Beat the Pie Man 6-0 in the second round of the first tournament, but would lose to the number 2 seed James Wade by 9 legs to 8.
91.
That's one of 4 occasions, like you mentioned, Dan, that he's made the quarterfinals. The last time was in 2019, where he lost to Dolby. And he's running the risk of losing this game as well, the way that Ratajski is approaching and doubling. Chance taken. A beautiful 2-dot kill from Barneveld.
Raymond van Barneveld. Fourth leg, Raymond at throw first.
Those combination shots, when they land sweetly, because it was right in the middle of treble 20, it was right in the middle of double 8. They're the things that dart players love.
140.
I think what Raymond really needs is a clear head, and he needs a setup in his hands where he can throw easily.
43.
There's nothing that feels wrong. He's tampered with different stem lengths, stem types, flight sizes, flight weights. But predominantly, this barrel has stayed the constant. Obviously loves them. But it does feel
96.
as if he's got this love affair going at the minute with the shorter stem combination. Because he can overstack like he used to in the 90s.
65.
It's not a deliberate overstacking technique that he used to win the 2007 World Championship at the Circus Tavern. It's that almost neutral angle that allows him to just flow. And that's probably the worst dart he's thrown in this match.
71.
But he follows it up with a beauty.
And he's well in control of this fourth leg, especially now Ratajski won't leave a finish.
83. Raymond, you require 85.
Oops, that's missed by quite some distance. That hasn't.
61.
Well, that was a bunch of licorice all sorts, wasn't it?
Proper mixed bag. You had a couple of coffee revels, either side of a toffee one.
137. Raymond, you require 24.
Such a U reference. And he's missed it by a mile again.
Game shot.
Well, it was a good marker, apparently, because he's made it 2-2.
Krzysztof the throw first.
Now, I've been doing some research on Krzysztof in the last 3 months. And I've been looking at a lot of imagery of his throw over the years.
59.
If you look at the way that the Polish Eagle addresses the hockey now, the dart at his set position, which is where he stops and aims, that is a lot closer
57.
to his eye than it was 3 years ago. He used to have his dart further out with his arm stretched out straight. Now it's at a right angle of 90 degrees.
100.
I don't know whether this is something that's crept into his game or whether it's a conscious change. But there has been a big technical change in the Ratajski game in the last 36 months.
I'm sure that you could pull up a video of a lot of players playing 10 years ago, and the throw from then to
99.
now will be completely different and completely accidental. Players' throws just evolve over time.
They do.
Would you have noticed the difference in your throw from when
59.
you started to when you finished?
Absolutely, because a lot of my changes were conscious. But I always use the example of Kyle Anderson, who said publicly that his hand was twisting away from his eye, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and he ended up just going with it, and his throw looked completely different when he was making the semis of the Euros compared to when he made his Worlds debut against Ian White. Well, obviously, Krzysztof Ratajski's not going to leave double 16 in this game. Quite contrary to pretty much every game he's played in his entire career.
139.
Unless he hits 4 double 16, of course.
Possible.
Game shot the fifth leg.
Yeah, I'll just be efficient instead.
Ratajski. 6 leg Raymond a throw first. $58.
You could call this the Godfather Derby, couldn't you? Because Raymond is the godfather of Dutch darts and Krzysztof is the godfather of Polish darts. It's like dynasties colliding.
100.
Heads of respective families.
So to speak.
60.
You know that Ratajski's going to want to be at that Polish Darts Open in February.
Well, that'd be an interesting call for him to make if he's not part of the pre-qualified field. Does he go to the tour card qualifier or does he go to the Polish host nation?
Well, you'd go to the host nation, right?
68.
Oh, the crowd is muted at this point in time. They're probably just trying to take this in and pace themselves because that previous match between Nyman and Veenstra, that was
97.
tantalizing at the end, to say the least. Josh Rock did make it through against Gabe Clemens. It wasn't a great game in the end, but Rock did enough. So he's going to be playing Scott Williams in the next round. Rather interesting to say the least.
95.
I hope the fixture computer puts that on stream 2. Or on stage 2, I should say.
56.
I'll sign the petition right now.
Require 149.
We'll talk about who the winner will play in the next round at the conclusion of leg 6, because it could be the halfway point.
97.
It might just
Raymond,
depend
136.
on what Van Barneveld does here. Just a little bit confused as to what Ratajski was thinking right there.
Yeah, treble would have left double 9. We know that he's not necessarily the
43.
sharpest with the numbers.
Krzysztof, you require 52.
It was probably just a slight lapse. Now he leaves double 16. Double 8. And he can't hit
56.
either.
Probably shouldn't have left double
Raymond, you
16.
require 93.
Now, Barneveld is the person who taught us that you should be able to hit a treble from the first 2 darts here. So he can't.
53. Krzysztof, you require
Do what he said to the world that you should be able to do at this level.
Game on the
So Ratajski takes a 4-2 lead.
Krzysztof Ratajski.
Van Barneveld can't
7th leg, Krzysztof
find a treble
first. Game
on a 90+ combo, and he's already changed his flights mid-game. The day that Ratajski changes his flights and stems mid-game
99.
is the day that the sun runs out of energy. And that is forecast to be 4.5 billion years away.
4.5 billion years from now, Krzysztof Ratajski will still be averaging 95 on a regular
58.
basis.
Still works. The angle of attack in the board is very different with what he's using there. It looks a lot lighter. But if you're Ratajski and you see him changing equipment, that's a great sign for him, because he's obviously not comfortable with what he's using.
60.
Some Barney Army fans out there trying to get him going again, but is it working?
100.
They're going in the board a lot slower.
And they're standing up as well, so it changes his angle of attack. If the dart is beneath the treble
100.
wire, that's when he'll have to switch, as opposed to above before.
Look how much he's missing the treble by all of a sudden.
43.
I wouldn't be surprised if he changes back in a second.
I'm not sure how many sets of darts or stems and flights Raymond packs when he comes to play darts, but if it's anything like Peter Wright, he'll have to pay for excess baggage.
Krzysztof just checking with Hugh Eyre, our referee, on stage 2 for this match, as to what he had left with one dart remaining. Well, Raymond was hoping to equalise the score in leg 7. It's going to be the bullseye for Krzysztof.
63.
I get the feeling this has to go now. To stand any chance, he's got to figure out how these darts are flying.
Not very well is the answer.
Krzysztof, you require 25.
For Raymond's sake, he's got to change back to the first set. He was throwing better darts with them.
9.
Well, this is a reprieve.
Raymond, you require 100.
Ratajski can't believe he's just let Raymond off. It doesn't feel likely.
54.
He
Krzysztof,
looks
you require
like he's been
16.
punctured by the last 10 minutes.
Double 4.
Game on the 7th leg.
No more chances available to Raymond van Barneveld. Perhaps when he thought he was going to get one.
Game on.
That last dart was not going in unless it hit the other one. I really hope that Raymond didn't see that, because that's one of those shots you don't want to see as an opponent. That's going to miss double 4 by a centimetre. And when it hits the dart, it goes in. That is probably the best deflection we've seen all day.
99.
Well, that's a little bit better from Raymond, but you just get the feeling he might have left this too late. Although Andrew Gilding thought he'd left it too late against Dom Taylor earlier.
The silent assassin kicked down the
80.
tower. He looks deflated. He looks crestfallen, does Barney.
Yeah, he looks like a bust balloon.
84.
It looked really promising at the start of the game as well, didn't it?
Yeah, he had a dart to win the first leg,
90.
then won 2 of the following 3. It was 2-all, and you thought, there's a real game on here.
Well, we were talking about him throwing the darts and it looked easy. They were flowing. It looked really good. And I have no
58.
idea
Raymond, you require
why he decided to
140.
change. I wish we could give you an average
Krzysztof, you require
based on what he's done since he changed the
164.
darts. There must be a chasm between the two.
64.
That's
Raymond,
one
you
way of trimming
require
off
100.
64. Both players left on a ton. Oh, and that is the worst possible dart you could throw. Throw it the other
80.
side.
Krzysztof, you require 100.
Ratajski now could put Barneveld out of his misery. What does he do? Well, what an interesting call
84.
considering where his first dart was. He could have slid a 60 in over the top. Decided not to go that route. How much has Raymond got left? And he's got a block double 10.
No score. Krzysztof, you require 16.
Well, this might be over very shortly. Feather off that one. That one made it trickier.
No score.
3 darts missed by Ratajski to close
Raymond,
this
you
match
require
out.
20.
And Barneveld did not think he was coming back.
Game
But he is. He's coming back for at least another leg.
Barneveld. 9th leg, Krzysztof to throw first.
This game had so much expectation. We called it a main stage type of
93.
fixture. But for some reason, it feels like there's been an air leak in this one, and it's been gradually
60.
sapped over the last 10 minutes or so. Oh, this is better.
100.
You can tell that Ratajski just wants to get rid of this before there's any more heartache on the doubles.
60.
The only way that Van Barneveld wins this game is if Ratajski makes more mistakes. And he's not making mistakes. Even with the 140, he's still a visit behind.
100.
I think he might be accepting his fate.
134.
Meaning Krzysztof can do what he likes with 134. How about leave double 16?
102.
The old faithful does not quite come to his rescue.
Hasn't really been his best friend. He did have a bit of a love-hate affair with it a couple of seasons back, and he seems to have rekindled, but
60. Krzysztof, you
now he's on the
require
cusp of victory
52.
against Van Barneveld once again.
Game
Victory
shot.
confirmed. It wasn't necessarily a pretty game of darts.